Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest, expert author on brand strategy, sustainable growth, marketing, and building a community. And of course, the author of the debut book, Play From Your Heart, no other than Mr. Scott Martin.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Scott, and welcome on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Very well. I would describe myself, put it down into bullet points: husband, father, teacher, coach, quad amputee, and an author that's working his butt off during the marketing phase of promoting a book.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And Mr. Scott, let's talk about your debut book and congratulations.
Thank
The
you.
title Play from Your Heart is a powerful directive. In your framework, what is a fundamental distinction between playing and truly playing from your heart?
Well, when I first got into coaching soccer, it was when I was also a soccer player back as a freshman in college, Daniel. And I would always tell my players, turn off your brain and play from your heart. What that really meant, I feel, is because to me, I see soccer as more of an art than just a sport. So we get to the point with players technically being able to shut off their brain and just play according to how the game feels and how it looks. Uh, and I also have to say that turn off your brain and play from your heart is a little bit too long. So we just cut it down to play from your heart, which I think covers the entire story within the book.
Interesting and empowering, Mr. Scott. You've likely encountered people who are technically or proficient, but those playing feels empty. What is your essential, non-technical ingredient that must be present for music that transmit the heartfelt quality of an audience?
Well, I bring training, excuse me, I bring music to training, Daniel,
Mhm.
because again, what I'm trying to use the music for, and it's blues, jazz, rock, disco, uh, Motown. I use that as a metronome in order to try to get the players to play according to the music. It's not for them because if they're listening to the music, it's downtime, and a lot of points during training, they're playing and they're competing against each other. So again, it's more of a metronome for me to help them to get to play like the music goes. And once they're able to obtain that, wow, we can really get some positive results out of them.
A positive result for sure. The phrase implies moving from a place of a feeling rather than just thought. How do you
Mhm.
help someone who is in stuck in their head, overthinking technique, theory, or perfection, drop down into the heart
Oh, it
centered?
it it comes over time. I mean, I always run into anytime I have a new group of players, and I've coached at the youth, high school, college levels, select levels, and overseas. It's very difficult to get a player to really turn off their brain and just play, because so many players that I come into, if anything after say 12 or 14 years old, they've probably already been with a coach or two that has them run a lot of drills and everything is structured and to do it their way. I'm completely the opposite, Daniel, and it's all about what they can interject. We have basic concepts that have to be followed during each match and during play. But once they become comfortable with that, they really become uncomfortable because I take off the leash, and it's let's get together and just see how you work with each other to break down an opponent. So it is a process very different from what most all other soccer coaches are doing. This is not American football where it's one play at a time, or baseball where it's one hit at a time, or one pitch at a time. It's a free flowing concept game. And I really just love when players are able to get to that point where their brain is off and they are playing from their heart and doing it together.
Yes, let's get together, people. Is playing from your heart about pure emotional expression, or
Mm.
is there a necessary dialogue between a raw feeling and a disciplined craft? Where
Hmm.
is the balance?
I would lean definitely more in the favor of just the emotional side. Again, it takes a lot of training and time and confidence by the players and their trust in me to get to a point where they can just go out and play. If you were to, well, World Cup is coming to the United States, Mexico, and Canada. You're going to be
Hmm.
seeing, you're going to have some matches there in
Hmm.
Vancouver. And if you really just watch that level of play, it doesn't happen all the time, even at that level. But once you see and feel the game through those players, I think that's what has been turning players, audiences and crowds in the United States over to this wonderful game we call soccer in the United States since 1970s when I was playing.
Let's talk about on the personal journeys and blogs, Mr. Scott. What are the most common heart blockers you see? Fear of a judgment,
Mm.
perfectionism, or old criticism, and what is the first step to dissolving them?
I would take that back to uh, the first half of my story in the book, Daniel. It is, I had completed my first year coaching at the college level, had a nationally ranked program, heading over to Europe. I had a call from Nike who said, "We heard some good things about you. Come down to a regional camp in Chicago." And that's where I started feeling poorly. And that's where I became sick. So, to go around a little bit of a long way, it's, I ended up waking up from a coma 1 month later to learn that in order to save my life, I had contracted group A strep with necrotizing fasciitis. The media loved at the time to call it the flesh eating disease. I woke up there a month long coma to learn that in order to save my life, doctors had to um, amputate both hands and parts of both feet. So that was a major pivot in time. And I was told that the only reason why I survived was because I was an athlete. And what I ended up having to rely on quite often, Daniel, was my time as an athlete and the structure and everything that it would take in order for me to get back to some semblance of a life. 5 years later, I did run into the brick wall of depression, but I did return and to coaching a national ranked program. So a lot goes in. You know what? Again, the title "Play from Your Heart" comes and does cover that first half of the book, talking about the amputations and everything, the work that went involved, and for me to return back to coaching and then carry me on to some other things that happened in the book.
Mr. Scott, how does one navigate the vulnerability of playing from such an exposed, authentic place, or especially in performance of collaborative setting?
Mm. Well, in soccer specifically, it's all collaborative with 11 players on the field and up to 24 players in training sessions. There's a collaboration for you that has to work. Me specifically in collaboration, Corey Ann Hicks, who was right out of college when the idea of writing this book came about. uh, I brought her on to help me with, and also to help provide her with an opportunity to collaborate in a book setting. This has really helped push her career forward because she's been working with Newsweek and a bunch of other magazines and writing, and now she is working on her own book. So there's collaboration across the board with soccer writing. I'm in a collaboration with my publisher. Um, so there's a lot of things that have to work along. And again, I think it plays into that title, Play from Your Heart.
In the world that often rewards optimization and hustle, how does embracing this more intuitive, heart led approach actually lead to better outcomes, deeper connections, and more sustainable
Mm.
success?
I tell you, Daniel, just outside the hospital, I don't remember if I asked for help in trying to understand my new life, or it was help was offered and I just didn't pay attention to it. I did a stupid thing by avoiding anything other than work. So here I was focused. And I guess when you look at turn off your brain, I definitely wasn't turning off my brain because all I wanted to do was work. So that collaboration and that discovery that you're talking about really just took time and a lot of heartache to get to the point where I was able to learn from that and start moving my life forward.
Mr. Scott, what does playing from your heart look like in a team or collaborative environment? How does it change the dynamic from transaction to co-creation?
Hmm. Jackson Pollock, the painter from the drip painter from the 1940s and 50s, I think represents in the specific art form of painting about how I view the game. If you saw Pollock painting his drip art, especially with the different colors and how um, the drips from his brush would all individually be one style, but as he started adding layers and colors, started seeing something form. And I would definitely point to that as how I see the game and how my teams have ended up being rather successful because they are able to start playing as if you were to fly a helicopter over a good quality soccer match and look down and you were to have if you were to track a ball in different colors, maybe from one player to another, and then by the end of the 90-minute match be able to see all the colors and how they flow together on the field because of the ball being moved in those colors, you would see a Jackson Pollock painting. So that is again another intrinsic thing along with the music that we play in training. Can't play music during matches, but to combine those concepts, it still comes down to the one thing, playing from the heart. And so many people I've found that don't, teams definitely don't play from their heart, except at the upper levels. But once they do, and once people are able to get to a point in their lives to be able to feel, to truly feel and to be confident in themselves, that's when beautiful things happen, whether it's on a soccer field or for Pollock on a canvas. We can all do the same sort of thing in our own lives.
Very well said, Mr. Scott.
Thank
Beautifully,
you.
beautifully stated. Let's talk about on practice and integration. Is
Mm.
there a daily or weekly practice you recommend to cultivate and strengthen the connection to one's heart as a creative source?
I would think take in art, take in music, especially, take in ourselves, and maybe some reading poetry or writing poetry. If people to find, I found so much in sitting down at a keyboard, not with a pencil so much really, but sitting down at the keyboard and writing this memoir. So much of it was reflective, which allowed me to look inside of myself because I was expressing openly and honesty with readers about what I went through in the recovery and the acceptance, or took a very long time to accept being an amputee. That it just day by day, enjoying life. How's that? I think that can boil down to enjoy life and just absorb it all as much as you can.
Enjoy life, people, because life is too short.
Mm.
And Mr. Scott, as an author and brand strategies and sustainable growth, marketing, and building a community, what are your short term and long term goals?
Well, the book drops on June 9, 2 days before the World Cup opens in Mexico City. So we've got the timing on that. Currently in struggles, we are now up for pre-sales and we're trying to get numbers up because there are certain goals we want to be able to meet, maybe making um, bestseller lists. That's why we're starting this early on memoir, unless you're really a celebrity, takes a really long time and a lot of work. I'm in more than 40 podcasts. So we're working on the marketing strategies. We're now being picked up, the stories being picked up by journalists, getting into magazines and such. So we've got still a little bit over 5 months before the book drops, but the marketing campaign is what I'm really enjoying. Daniel, I am finding the deeper I get into this is nothing like what I thought. People are picking up more of the emotional side of the story and the inspirational side of the story. I thought it was going to be soccer people and amputees, disabled community, but really following that with where people like you are helping me take this to get the word out to people. Hey, Daniel, we're in really negative times, right? I mean,
Hmm.
oh yeah. I put a tagline on it. This is a positive story in negative times. So I think that,
Definitely.
yeah, we want to be able to get that out because I want to try to help put a dent into all this negative stuff that's going on and kind of give people a taste of something positive. So a lot going into this aspect. Writing was one thing, marketing is totally different animal.
Yes, and good luck to your goals, Mr. Scott. And looking forward for more success and
Thank you.
looking forward for more books like this to empower people all over the world. In supporting of your advocacy, I will promote these episodes through all my social media, and I will publish our episode next week. Supposed to be
Oh,
next month, but I want to help you to be a bestseller because on Book 101 Review, I do feature either a bestseller or award winning on every month. Award winning or best selling author of my feature author of the month. Who knows?
oh,
You will be
cool.
the next.
Cool.
So, Mr. Scott, what will your piece of advice for those people out there want to be like you?
What was that again? I'm sorry, Daniel.
Yes. What will be your piece of advice for those people out there want to be
Oh,
like you?
real simple. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Don't worry about society and labels that people might put on us. Just trust
Hmm.
yourself, which really boils down to just be yourself. We've heard that since we were kids, right? Just be yourself. Just be yourself. And yeah, just trust yourself. Be yourself.
Yes, people don't care what people say about you because they have always an opinion.
Hmm.
So just do it. Oh, thank you, Nike.
Yes.
Just
Thank you,
do
Nike.
it.
Just do it, baby. Yeah.
Just do it. And thank you for that advice, Mr. Scott. And can you please recommend a book of books that influence you, Johnny?
Oh, I would say go read. It's an oldie, late '80s, The Alchemist. I think
Hmm.
it starts out in one way of someone trying to find something, but then they become enlightened with what they've discovered about themselves and what about life. So, The Alchemist.
Highly recommended, people. The Alchemist. And thank you for that, Mr. Scott. So, if you could have every reader take away one actionable insight from Play from
Mm,
Your Heart, what would you want it to be?
very broad based. I would say thought provoking. I hope it stirs some conversation. I'm wondering about the disabled community. Maybe latch onto it and try to get something from it. But I hope people step away and find it very thought provoking.
Yes, definitely. And Mr. Scott, will you be my guest on Motivation 101? And let's motivate people all over the world through your book.
Very cool.
Yes, and before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review is sixth season. These Yeah, Comedy 101 and third season, Food 101 is sixth season as well, Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101, Review of Music 101, our fourth season, Science 101, Sex 101 in its third season, MIBB Podcast, Mental Health 101, Law 101, Bible Verses 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and Motivation 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Scott, ultimately, it's a goal of playing from your heart about the quality of the output or the state of being of the person creating it.
Exactly. I think it all comes down to, again, with the World Cup coming, watch the matches because at that level, you're going to see a lot of players, individual players and team especially. They're going to be playing from their heart. And it's going to be wonderful to watch.
Playing from the heart, people. So, Mr. Scott, can you please invite our listeners to support your debut book, Play from Your Heart?
Yeah, folks, if they Google Scott Martin book, they might be able to find. Right now, we're waiting for Simon and Schuster to get their butts together and put this on Amazon because we're a little early. But right now, Scott Martin book, and then look for us. Play from Your Heart. You might be able to tag that as well. It's in there. It's only at our publisher's website to pre-order now, but at any day, it's going to be on Amazon. So
Yes. Yes, people, let's support Mr. Scott Martin because if you support him for sure, more and more empowering books like this or books like this will rise. So, Mr. Scott, do you believe this capacity is something we are born with to unlearn, or is it the skill that can develop at any stage of life?
Develops. I think it develops. We're born with certain things, but it's up to us to help them develop.
Yes, people, just like a muscle, it will develop and become bulge if you do it every day. And one more question. When an audience experiences someone truly playing from their heart, what is the transmitted beyond just the notes? What is the intangible exchange that happens?
I think that if you watch a quality soccer match, they're going to walk away thinking that they just experienced a concert or they just experienced some wonderful paintings, went to the Louvre.
Mm-hmm.
That's what soccer is.
Definitely. You're just like watching the opera of Mozart. Oh,
Very good.
Mr. Scott Martin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Modicon people, see you soon.